Welcome to Innerji, Tarot to Astrology and all things metaphysical. Hi, I'm Lesley, Metaphysical Crone. So this week we're going to do a choose your free reading, and you're going to have a choice from tarot and charms, or a crystal fusions reading, or an astrology reading using some astrology cards. So choose the one that you're drawn to. And remember, all readings that are done are general in nature. So only take what resonates for you and disregard the rest. So let's move on to the readings. Okay, so let's have a look at the cards. So the first card position, we have Three of Pentacles reversed. And this is saying to me that for this coming week, things that you've been working on, something that you've been working on is kind of stalling. It's not moving forward. If this card was upright, as you can see here, it would mean that things are progressing and that discussions are being held. So I feel that things are starting out this week on hold. It's like a holding pattern. And now we also have here the Four of Cups reversed. And this is saying to me that it is about looking beyond what you know already, beyond what you've started, looking at the bigger picture. Because when we see this card upright, we see a young man who can only see the three cups that are on the ground in front of him. He can't see that something else is being offered. So this holding pattern that I'm seeing for you at the beginning of this week isn't so much about a negative sign about things not going ahead. It's about things are just on hold to allow a new opportunity or a new outlook, a new feeling about it to come into play. Let's add a couple of charms to this combination of cards. And we have the Book and we have the Archway. So this is saying to me that there is something yet about this situation that's on hold that you're not yet knowledgeable about, that you don't know about. And by looking beyond where you're at, looking at the bigger picture, it's going to open up a new way forward for you. Now let's see what's hidden underneath the surface. We have the Two of Pentacles here. Again, it's reversed. Now, don't think all reversed cards are negative, because they're not necessarily negative. We read the card as it is. And so we're going to add a couple of charms to that. And I've got a phone, the telephone, and I've got the turtle. And so what's sitting underneath the surface of this is it is about communication. It's about communication that's happening slowly. You've made your decision, you know where you're headed, but this hold that's happening at the moment, in order for you to see the big picture, is going to be dependent on some communication, but it's going to take a little bit of time before it comes to the surface. Now let's have a look at how the past is influencing. You know, there's something you've been worried about around this situation. It's been keeping you up at nights. There's been a lot of thinking about what could go wrong, what would happen if this occurred, what would happen if that occurred. I feel that you're kind of being lost in your head a little bit around this situation, and it is creating stress for you. Let's have a look at what's on the surface, what it is that you know already. And we've got the Tower. Let's add a couple of charms to the Tower. So we've got the Angel and we've got the Shorts. The Shorts represent a man or someone who has a more masculine, proactive, outward energy. And I feel that what you're feeling is, I'm relating it back to here, there is a fear that everything is breaking down around this situation or issue that you are looking at. But sometimes breaking down isn't a negative thing. And because I've got the Angel here, I feel it's kind of meant to be. And I feel that you're going to get assistance from either a male person or someone who has a more outgoing, outward, masculine type energy, a kind of can-do energy. So what you do know that things are breaking down in relation to this, but you know, with the Angel there, it's kind of meant to be, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. And I feel that support is there for you in the form of a male person or someone who has a more masculine energy. And then moving towards the end of the week, the outcome for the end of the week, we've got Seven of Swords reversed. When this card is upright, you can see that this fellow is tippy-toeing away after stealing some swords, and he's looking back to see if he's been noticed or not. Now, it could be that he's taking something back that he owns, or he is actually stealing something. So the fact that this card is reversed is saying that in regard to this situation that you're going through at the moment has been creating some stress. It's been under the surface, waiting on a call to come, and then a breaking down, which is kind of meant to be, but will be helpful with support of a masculine energy, means that you'll end the week or look at this situation with nothing being taken away from you. You are not going to lose by this happening. So I feel that your stress is unwarranted. Let's add a couple of charms to this last card and see what we have. And we've got the Lion, and we've got the Camel. So this is saying to me, look, it is going to take some effort this week to get things going again. But once you have this communication and support and the information that you need, there will be a new path ahead, because the Camel represents success through effort. And we have the Lion here, and it is about standing in your own power, taking that courageous step to see this through. I do hope that's been of help. Now let's move on to the Crystal Fusions reading. So this is a mat that I've created. It's in its experimental stages at the moment, because Crystal Fusions is a divination and energy balancing healing system that I'm developing at the moment. And so this is the reading mat that I am playing with a little bit at the moment. So I'm going to cast some crystals. Now in the center, I have a clear quartz sphere. And I have programmed that clear quartz sphere as a general reading for today. So I'm going to just shake up the crystals and cast them and see where they land. So anything that lands within the circle is what I am reading today. So everything else can move away. So let's see what we have. We've got 4 quadrants here. And so I'm breaking up these 4 quadrants into the elements of fire, earth, water, and air. So I'll explain those as part of the interpretation as I go along. So we've got nothing in fire this week. So if you've chosen the Crystal Fusions reading, this is saying to me that this week I feel that your energy is a little bit low, that you're maybe not feeling terribly inspired this week because there's nothing there. So I feel this week for you in terms of the energy of fire element, because we have all 4 elements within us, that your energy is a bit low. You're finding it hard to stay motivated. Now let's move down to the earth element. And in the earth element, we have a beautiful Larimar. So this Larimar is about communication. It's about the throat chakra. It's also about water energy. And so what this is saying to me, sitting in the quadrant of earth, is that in terms of your communication this week, you need to be a bit more practical. You need to go with the flow of things and not force things, and make sure that you've got your facts correct. And it is also about communicating in a more gentle way. Now, bordering earth and water, we have sunstone. So this is saying to me that it is time to bring your energy up. We need to try and move that sunstone back over into here, into the fire element, to get your energy built up. And it is pretty close to the yes symbol. And so that's a confirmation that this week is about building up your energy physically and emotionally. So it is doing things about eating properly, making sure you get some exercise. In terms of your emotions, it is about looking at how you're feeling emotionally. If you're feeling a bit low, what can you do to uplift yourself? Now, this is where the healing component comes in the reading. You can use sunstone to build your energy, to uplift. If you don't have a sunstone at home, you can take a clear quartz crystal and program it with that same information. So for this week, physically and emotionally, it is about building up your energy and getting it back into balance again. Now let's look at what's happening in the water segment. And here we have a beautiful citrine crystal. This is a crystal that is about abundance. It's also an energy stone. It's also about connecting to the healing golden light. I use more of the golden type of citrine, which is the one that hasn't been burnt it hasn't been baked amethyst. This is the natural one. And I have a tendency to use that for healing. So I feel also for you this week that it is about emotional healing that will affect you physically. Hence this sunstone kind of bordering the two. So it is a week of maybe reflecting on your emotions. It is a week of looking at the cup half full instead of the cup half empty. Moving on to the quadrant of air. Here we have red jasper and green aventurine. Now the air element is about your thoughts, your communication, your ideas, your plans, all that kind of thing. It's also about movement. And so I feel for this week that, this no will, no motivation, the need to communicate on the facts, the practical things, and communicate softly to build up your energy, get your energy back in balance, and also do a bit of self-healing around your emotions. I feel that is going to help you have a more positive outlook when it comes to your thoughts. You're going to have that cup half full instead of half empty. In fact, if you put the energy into it with that red jasper, you're going to fill the cup right up and you're going to really come back into balance. So overall, if I combine all this, what this is saying to me is that you're going to begin the week with not a lot of energy, not a lot of motivation. But, if you really work on building your energy, eating right, exercising, looking at your emotions, communicating clearly, communicating the facts, your week will end up being more abundant. You'll get your energy back. You'll feel more of being back to you. I do hope that was of help. Now let's move on to our final reading for this session, and that is the astrology cards. So for the astrology reading, I'm actually going to use the astrology cards as a divination tool, as opposed to looking at a chart of where the planets are in the sky in the moment, what houses they're in at the moment, and what the sun sign is, although we do know the sun is in Gemini right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be shuffling each group of cards. So this card represents the houses, which is the area of life. This card represents the sign. And this card represents the planets. So I'm going to shuffle each one individually and take one card from each and then interpret. So I'm going to start by shuffling for the houses. And we'll see what we've got. So the area of life for this reading we're looking at is the 11th house. This is the house of friendships, doing things in groups. It's also the house of innovation, teamwork. It looks at things like technology, social media. It's also about innovation. I think I might have just mentioned that. Innovation seems to be a key thing in my mind at the moment. It's also about doing things your way as well. So that's the 11th house. Now let's pick a card through shuffling for which sign. And this sign will sit in the 11th house of friendships, groups, social activities, teamwork, innovation, all that kind of thing. It's more kind of big picture stuff. And the sign we have is Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is a sign of other people's stuff. It's the sign of someone who's private. So it's about private matters. It's about protection. It's about delving into the deeper, darker side. So it's almost looking at your shadow side. And now let's choose a planet. I'm using the traditional planets, so I don't have Neptune, Pluto, or Uranus in here. And we'll see what the planet is. And the planet is the sun. So let's read these three cards together. The area of life that we're looking at for you this week, if you have chosen the astrology layout, is the house of friends, groups, being innovative, being out there and standing up for a cause. So we have Scorpio here. Scorpio is fixed water. So this week for you, when it comes to doing things in groups, doing things with friends, it's going to be something deeper. It's not superficial. You're going to be diving deep with your friends. I feel that there's the opportunity to talk about your philosophies, to talk about your beliefs, to dive deep into the psyche rather than, what the Kardashians are doing this week. So I feel that for this week, particularly with the sun there, we've got the sun in Scorpio in the 11th house. It is about bringing to light those deeper aspects of yourself. I feel that you're going to be sharing things with friends and with people that you trust around perhaps maybe things you wouldn't normally talk about. I feel this is going to be a week of deep revelations with friends as well. Now, if we look at this from the perspective of technology, now we know that Mercury is retrograde at the moment. And we know when Mercury is retrograde, it can mean that things technologically can get a little bit out of kilter. But I want you to, with the sun in Scorpio, if for some reason your computer's playing up, your phone's playing up, I want you to look deeper than the obvious thing of, oh, it's Mercury retrograde. Really take a look at what's going on so that you can find an innovative way to fix it. Now, what I'd like to do is add some charms to this and see what other information we can get. So I'm going to put a couple of charms on the sun, a couple on Scorpio, and a couple on the house. Oh, we got 3 there. Oh, we've got another sign here, Gemini. Well, we do have the sun in Gemini at the moment. So I feel that this is reaffirming that it is about communication with friends for you this week. And we've got the horseshoe and we've got the sun coming out from behind the clouds. So I feel that any communication that you do on the deeper aspects of who you are, maybe revealing something private, revealing a secret about yourself that you've been keeping under wraps, I feel that now is the time to communicate it. It will go well because we've got the horseshoe, and I feel it's going to lift you up. The sun's coming out from behind the clouds, so I feel it's going to give you a sense of relief. Now with Scorpio, we've got the peacock and the lion. And so this is saying to me that in this communication that you're going to have, or conversation that you're going to have with friends, it is about being brave, having the courage to let yourself be seen. Because when peacocks spread their tails, it's about being seen. It's the male peacock that has the beautiful fantail, and that's what he does to attract the female. So it is about being seen, being brave about being seen, about something that you've kept hidden, and it is going to go well when you speak to your friends about it. And with the sun, we've got the butterfly and we've got the Buddha. And this is saying to me that it is around something that you value really deeply. It could be your philosophy, your beliefs, whatever it is that you've been keeping hidden. I feel you're kind of going to come out of the closet a little bit, and that's going to allow you the opportunity to transform. So for you this week, it is about opening up to friends that you trust, knowing that it will go well, knowing that you need to be seen and have the courage to do it, and it will create transformation around your own values, beliefs, and ethics. I do hope you've enjoyed today's approach to choose a reading with the choice of tarot and charms, crystal fusions, or the astrology and charms. Until next time, namaste.